Hello, everybody. I am Steve Patterson. Welcome. I'm joined as usual by my brother Troy. We are the Gen X Transplant Brothers. We've been doing a lot of that lately, and we just wanted to stop by tonight and do a quick live. We just got done recording a segment that we're going to be posting here later, but we have some big news. And Troy, before I get going, how are you doing today?
Doing great. It's been a beautiful snowy day where I am.
Wow, folks, you hear that? We've gone from one word answer to two to all that in such a short time. That's awesome, Troy. I'm glad to hear it. And another thing I want to say in such a short time, big shout out to our community. We have managed to get past 1,000 subscribers. Not bad for such a short period of time here, but I've got to say, all credit goes to really one thing that we did, and that was our sort of stroll down memory lane looking at the Sears catalog, particularly the segment that we cut from the larger segment of that called Sears Guitar Catalogs, what Gen X kids dreamed of in the 70s. And that thing, I mean, it took off, folks. I left town the other day and we had, less than 50 subscribers. By the time I got back, we had over 1,000. And we have, for the first time, comments, and we have all kinds of things going on. Our shorts that we generated brought a ton of I think, new folks here. I hope that we can keep you with us. This is a conversation about Gen X. It's for everybody, of course, but we are ourselves both born in 1966, being brothers our whole lives. And we'd like to talk about those days. Not so much that we reminisce for the past and blame the future or hate today. We just like, calling it how good it was back in those days. So with that, thank you to our new community out there, the Gen X Transplant Brother community, as we're going to say. And Troy, you have any shout out to our new friends and family?
Yeah, hey, thank you for watching. A lot.
A lot. Troy's building, as I've mentioned before, I just sort of randomly invited Troy into this process. I have a little bit of experience. I had a sports broadcast for a long time on Sirius Satellite decades
I'm a
ago.
man. A few words as well.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Just wait. You'll see how that goes. All right. But what I wanted to do here real fast, folks, is to take a look at this because we did have 6 comments, and I've been saying we're going to reply to some comments. We might as well do that right now in this live format. So the first one I want to look at here, I think it's pretty funny. We do have a brother, Greg, who was born a couple of years before us. He's actually Troy's brother. Troy and I are stepbrothers, and so he's my other stepbrother, Greg. And the 3 of us largely grew up, but Troy and I were a little younger, so things just sort of happened the way they did. But Greg is a drummer, and he's been a drummer, and he's probably, of the 3 of us, the most polished, best musician. He's done studio work. He treats his drum set like Troy treats his model trains, and I treat coming up with things to build on the internet. It's just like such minutia, but it's funny though, because we mentioned him a couple of times, and when we were looking through the catalog, we were talking about the price of the drum set and and it said that it's like $299. We were talking about that, and Troy, you had that line that I thought was pretty funny because the following year they took away one of the cymbals, and you said at parents' request.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I think we got a comment about that. I might have just blown somebody's cover. Anyway, that might have been a comment on a short. But here's the ones that we had from the actual video. The one that I'm getting at with this Greg conversation was we have my brother's name is Greg and he's a drummer. So, all right. So Gabe Kohler, glad to hear it. Maybe we get all of us on, all 5 of us. Gabe, if you're Gen X and your brother's Gen X, we get Greg the drummer, and all of us would talk about having brothers play drums.
We don't know. It could be the same Greg. Maybe Gabe's our brother, and we don't know. Hi, Gabe.
Straight to Gabe. How's it going, man?
Brother Gabe.
Christmas is right around the corner.
That's cool. Thanks, Gabe.
That's great, Gabe. So anyway, that's awesome. Thanks for your comment. And then Robbie Johnson here, he says that he had a Tobacco Burst Strat copy. So there you go. The Tobacco Sunburst is what I had on that first Memphis that I had guitar. And I remember I liked it, but I was just a tad peeved because, really when I thought Sunburst and I thought Les Paul, I still had Ace Frehley in my head. And to me, I would have rather that thing looked like a tequila sunrise, but it wasn't to be. And I ended up loving that guitar. And my current Strat that I have is also a Tobacco Sunburst Fender one, though, not a Memphis. So that's cool. Right on. Good taste. All right. Mike Lewis. Troy, anything about the Tobacco Sunburst?
That's the one. I had the guitar I threw up in the air when I was testing was a Tobacco Sunburst Squire Strat.
You recall that we're talking
Went up,
Right. We were talking
Strap lock
about
didn't
building.
work.
Sorry, tell the story again so I have to repeat. It's in an earlier video. So what happened?
Okay, well, get the strap locks on, and this guy from Saxon, I saw him in concert, and he'd throw his guitar up, and it's supposed to go around his neck, then get be right here, and he'd start playing again. I saw him do that, and I'm going to try that when I get home. So I went to the backyard to try it, and I threw it up, and the strap lock broke, and it just went straight up in the air and came back down and crack. No more
And
strap.
and you did fix the neck or something like that, you said,
Yeah,
right?
I did. I got a different neck for it.
Yeah, but that doesn't ever. I mean, that's it. Once that happens,
Nope.
I'm sure. Of course, somebody out there said, "Well, I did." Congratulations. Okay, now we have Mattman69. He says, "My first bass was a gift from my parents. It was an unbranded Cort bass from the '86 Sears catalog. It had power sound pickups. They paid $219, and then adjusted for inflation. That's about $650 today. Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. You
Yeah.
know, we were in the. I was saying that we recorded we have another thing coming out on guitars. We just recorded one, and in it we talk about the pricing. In that one, we were talking about the kids that had Marshall stacks. Well, that also meant that they had nice, really cool
Yeah.
parents. So you had really cool parents.
You could have your Marshall stack, just play it somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Unless you're in our band, then bring it over. We're all going to get our picture taken in front of it. Okay, here we go. Tony James, he says, I spent hours trying to pick out an acoustic guitar and never did figure out which one was best suited for me. But the Sears catalog was something else. It had its own experience and never failed to deliver. A boom. Exactly. Never failed to
Yeah.
deliver. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But see, where else did we ever see guitars? Really? I mean, there was barely music stores. I don't even remember them then. Certainly not
No,
early
when
70s.
you did, it was all the high-end stuff, you know?
And that's even when they came around. We're already talking 1980s by now, practically, or, well, late 70s. But back when this video, we're talking about this video being in 1973. 1973, the average town in regular America, say Effingham, Illinois, where town we grew up not far from, I'm sure they had a music store, but it's probably mostly flutes and horns
They did. It
and
it was called
band stuff.
Samuel Music, and I think it was in an old railroad caboose, and that's what it was. They contracted with the school for the
Right.
school band and stuff, but they didn't have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you're not gonna walk in there and see the latest, Gibson SG on the wall.
Maybe you like Jethro Tull and you wanna play flute.
Hey, there you go. Just hit Effingham in 1972, they got it for you.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Tony, and thanks, Matt and Mike and Robbie, if I haven't said so. So, Professor C, 213, in the late 1960s, I was a child. We were children then too, and still are. Just kidding. In the late 1960s, I was a child. I would drool over the guitars and amps in the Sears catalog. Thank you for bringing back the great memories. That's exactly. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
that comment. That's exactly what I want us to do is bring back great memories without, blaming today. Oh my God, if it's different time, man. Different time. We loved it. It was great. But yeah, I mean, look, you're doing it late 60s, so you're a little bit before us. I'd love to get some more comments if you like. We looked at the cover of the '66 one. I was unable to see inside it. I can only find the cover. But I would love to see the 1968 Sears catalog and see what would have been in there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Or hell, the 1955. They had them. That's one thing we didn't do. For those that watched, we never answered the question, whatever happened to the Sears catalog. That's the name of the main feature. We got distracted on that. Troy, let's pick up a little bit on that since we have a few minutes here, and this is a live, so it's not like we have to worry about content time. Somebody wants to watch it, they can watch it. See, what happened, the reason we didn't go back to it is because, A, we went a little bit long, shocker, and B, Troy, you threw in something at the end. We were talking about the prep for the show that would have extended it quite a bit. See, what I know happened at the end of the whole experience, as most can imagine, as different things started coming along, the internet started coming along. Before that hit proper, say mid 90s, by 93, the Sears catalog was done. Its final was in 1993. And that was the end of that. But what's interesting is that Troy, when I was mentioning this, before I said that, you mentioned that you had gone when you're working for the Illinois Central or something along those lines. And there's a paper train or something. And I
Yeah,
don't know if the years match up, but the story stands either way. Can you tell a story what you know about the later years of the Sears catalog?
there was a printer called R.R. Donnelly, in Mattoon, Illinois. I worked for Illinois Central Railroad, and there was 2 trains a day that serviced R.R. Donnelley with boxcars full of paper. So they would get about 32 boxcars, huge rail cars full of rolled up paper that they would print Sears catalogs. I believe it was Sears, maybe JCPenney or Ward, but they printed Christmas catalogs there. I mean, once the 93, early 90s, that started disappearing, but they still made junk mail. I think that business is out now, but that was their sole bread and butter, was printing Sears catalogs.
And so what happened to them afterwards?
Well, the internet came out in, I believe, 95, and the last time I remember going into R.R. Donnelley was 2006, and I think they had folded shortly after that because, paperless world didn't need any more paper, so they went out of business, but they were a
And
huge business.
But then what happened with the train car with paper? And what happened to the paper after that? When the company making the paper could no longer sell it to them, what'd they do with the paper?
I
Do you
don't
remember?
know.
Well, no, you said something about they went into making junk mail.
Yes, they went into making junk mail after the catalogs went out of business, and I mean, I still get junk mail in the snail mail in my
Right. So
mailbox
was it,
today.
but it was the paper vendor. Since the paper vendor can no longer sell to Sears, they
Right.
then somehow got involved in that. So it's interesting. So it went from catalogs to junk mail to spam. So
Yeah, it's a spam.
Sears catalog is the OG spam
Yeah, yeah,
in slow form back when it was snail mail.
yeah. It'll be here soon,
It'll be
friend.
here soon. Trust us. Through snow and wind and ice, whatever. Well, that's going to be about it. We don't have a lot really for tonight. We just want to really stop by and just say thank you to all the people that are subscribed. We will be back this week with a couple of lives. I will post on the front page. That's down below. Well, if you're on the front page, it's down below. On the front page of our channel, where the posts are, I'll link information about that a day or so ahead. So stay in touch. And thanks again. And Troy, anything else?
Marshall.
Marshall, you're going to have to watch the video coming out to get that. But until next time, Gen X friends and family and all generations. Until next time, we'll take care and we'll see you then. Man.